me crazy. It's easy like 1, 2, 3. Can't believe all this money for me, money for me. I got to get the CASH. That's the code for the vault, so let's play. Top up with 1,000 and the next day you could be a millionaire. But did you say?
More than 15 million to grab this summer. Top up with $1,000 or more to collect the letters to spell CASH.
For a chance to catch millions in the Digicell's cash vault.
Top up today.
Digicel.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
The time has now moved on to 19 hours in Guyana, and you're listening to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and the 99.5 FM. I'm Kevin Smith with your nightly newscast. The Caribbean Court of Justice on Friday overturned the conviction and 45-year prison sentence of murdered teenager Nisa Gopal's stepfather Jarvis Small, calling the evidence proffered against him in the lower courts greatly prejudiced. This means that Small is freed of the 2010 murder, some 8 years after he was found guilty of the crime. The court, however, upheld the guilty verdict but reduced further the 4 to 5 year sentence for the girl's mother, 50-year-old Bibi Shirima Gopal, to 30 years, ordering that she will be eligible for parole not before 15 years. And the role Guyana plays in monitoring spending in the capital-intensive oil industry here comes after the oil companies would have expended large sums of money in the development of the oil fields, after which Guyana is handed the bills to scrutinize. And this is according to Jagdeo, when he explained that it is for this very reason that the country is working on building capacity in the area of cost audit and verification. The Vice President explained that the arrangement it currently has with ExxonMobil and partners to develop the country's oil endowment does not afford the nation a co-management position, which would allow the country insights into the company's spending to ensure beforehand that Guyana is not being given bills with inflated costs for goods and services needed within the sector. Vice President Bauer Jagdeo believes it is common sense for the total cost of the gas to energy to be decided on before any insurance policy is pursued, even though he has calculated the financial viability of the project in the absence of that very final cost. When asked if the government is also considering any of the risks in its analysis of the project and conclusion that it will be viable, he acknowledged that while the possibility of an explosion exists, it simply does not change the commercial viability of the multi-billion US dollar project. Meanwhile, experts have argued that a gas leak management plan should be inserted into the developer's environmental impact assessment. However, Exxon has already filed that study with the EPA without addressing this risk. And as government authorities continue to iron out a number of variables for the nation's first oil blocks auction, now slated for year-end, Jagdeo said he is not opposed to locals being part of the process. Dr. Jagdeo said the involvement of locals is a very important point for the state to consider. And additionally, Jagdeo made it clear that 3 businessmen will not be allowed to tarnish his government's reputation. One of the names he publicly mentioned was Azruddin Mohammed, a businessman who came under the spotlight earlier this month after Detective Police Sergeant Dion Bascom made accusations that he was involved in the murder of Ricardo Fagundes, better known as Paper Shorts. Bascom had also accused the businessman of being involved in an alleged police cover-up of the matter. Mohammed has since publicly denied the allegations and has said that Paper Shorts was his friend and he would never want to harm him. The businessman has since threatened to sue Bascom millions for defamation of character. Let's turn our attention to what the local content legislation requires of foreign companies with respect to their procurement rules. To ensure fair and equal treatment in the tendering process, the law states that contracting companies and their subcontractors must ensure the rules governing the bid process are fair and transparent. They must also be clearly articulated in their request for proposals or request for quotation. The legislation also preserves the right of Guyanese companies to bid clarifications. The law states that in all cases, responses to queries or feedback, updates to clarifications shall be communicated to all bidders in a bulletin at the same time. And that brings us to the end of this evening's newscast. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Berbice 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.